In this lesson, we will take a look how we can create previews and preview our animations in After Effects. The first step to create a preview of your animation in After Effects is to set an area or a preview range. To set a preview range, you can use this bar up here. It's also called the work area. You see that if I hover my mouse over here, then my icon or my cursor changes, and now I can simply click and drag and set a new endpoint for my work area. In my case, let's say I want to preview the first 3 seconds. So let's come to our endpoint here and let's click and drag this in here to 3 seconds. You can also set the in and the out point with keyboard shortcuts, of course. So let's move our time cursor, my time marker right here. And if I press B on my keyboard now, you see that my work area endpoint jumps to my time indicator. If I move this over here and press N on my keyboard, you see that the out point of my work area jumps to my time indicator. So let's move our time indicator to frame number 0 and let's press B on the keyboard to set our in point. Now let's move our time indicator to 3 seconds, and we can also do this by coming in here to our time code. By the way, if this is not set to seconds, you can press Ctrl and then click on this number, and so you can change between frames and seconds and minutes. And now let's click in here and simply type in 3 and click enter or press enter, and you see that now your time indicator will jump to 3 seconds. So this is also a useful way to navigate around your project. Now let's press N on our keyboard to set the out point of our work area. To create a preview, we can come to our preview window or preview panel here. Let's open this up and let's take a look what possibilities and what options we have got here. I'll make this a little bit bigger, like so. And you see that the standard shortcut for a preview is the spacebar. You can also, of course, use these buttons to create your previews. So let's go to the first frame. Let's click this button and now our time indicator will move to the first frame. Now when I press play here, After Effects will calculate my preview and will play my animation. I can do the same by pressing spacebar. So if I press spacebar now, you see that After Effects also will create a preview and will play my animation. You can come in here now and specify the shortcut, and we have a few different options here, but most of the cases the standard option is fine, so just leave this as spacebar. What you can choose here is you can include the video or the audio. We do not have any audio now in our project, so this doesn't really change anything. But if you want to preview audio only, you could also just disable this one, and then you can create audio only previews. The same applies when you disable the audio icon here, then you will only create previews without any audio that you have in your project. So the next option that you have got here is to show the layer controls. For example, if you want to show the layer controls for our circle, then you can select this layer. You can now activate this, go to our first frame and click spacebar to create a preview. And you see now during the preview, these layer controls will be visible. The standard setting is that they are not visible. Then none of these layer controls will be visible. So let's go back here, play this again, press spacebar, and you see now no controls are visible. You see that we have the option to cache all frames before playback. If you select this, then After Effects will calculate the preview and then start the playback. The standard setting is that it starts the playback while caching the frames for the first time. The next option that you have is to specify the range. You see, if we come in here, you can specify the work area. The work area is, as I told you, exactly what we specify through this bar here with the in and the out point. You can choose entire duration, then it will play the entire duration of your composition, or you can also choose work area extended by current time. So if I set my cursor to around somewhere here, and now if I start my playback by pressing space, you see that now my playback starts right at my time indicator, and now it will start from the beginning and move through the whole project more or less, because this is set to current time. If I now set this play from start of range and I set this to work area, now I press play And now we have the preview, and it will only play my work area that I specified here. So you can specify the range of your preview. The next options that you have is you can specify a certain frame rate. So in my case, it's the standard setting, the auto setting. So After Effects will choose the frame rate that you specified for your composition. You can also take another frame rate, like 15 frames, for example. Let's create a quick RAM preview. Then the animation will be a little bit rougher, but the preview will work a little bit faster because you only have to calculate 15 frames per second and not 25. You can achieve a same effect if you skip some frames. So for example, if I skip frames, like I skip 2 frames, then only every third frame will be calculated. If I change something now here, so let's change something that After Effects deletes the caching here. Let's do this. Let's make this invisible. The circle, for example. You see now this green bar disappears, and that means that After Effects right now has no frames cached for this preview. And if I now click spacebar, you see what After Effects will do. It will calculate only every third frame. And this is because I selected this skip to here. So let's stop this for now. Let's set this to 0. So we do not want to skip any of these frames. And now you can press spacebar and you see After Effects will now render and cache all the frames. And this green line always shows you which frames are ready for preview. So now let's enable our circle again. And let's take a look at the next option, and this is the resolution option. You can create previews in different resolutions. You can come in here, you choose full resolution, half, third, quarter, or also custom resolution. If it's set to auto, then the preview will be visible or will be shown in the resolution that you specify right here. So here you can specify the resolution of your composition window. In my case, I set this to half. If I set this to full, and now I come in here and set my zoom level to 100%, you see that I have my full resolution now, and it's even too big for my preview window. If I set this to half now, you see that now the quality is not that good anymore. If I set it to quarter, the quality is really, really bad, but the preview will work way faster. So let's turn this to quarter and let's set this to 25% zoom level. If you create a preview now, this will play back very fast because After Effects only has to calculate the quarter amount of pixels for the preview. The last options that we have for previewing are what happens when you stop the preview by pressing space again. So of course you can start the preview by pressing space and you can stop the preview by pressing space. You see that we have activated that the time indicator will be moved to the preview time. So you see each time I press, then it starts from the beginning, and wherever I press stop, my time indicator will be set. So this is an option that you have. The other option is you can change this to if caching, play cached frames. And yeah, this doesn't make a huge difference here because all the frames are already cached. So you can just disable this for now. Okay, so this is how you can create previews in After Effects. By the way, your previews are saved to the disk cache. We talked about the disk cache already in the preferences video. And if you want to get rid of all the frames or all the data that After Effects saves on your disk, or if you want to get rid of the pre-cached files that you have got, you can come up here to Edit, and then you can choose Purge. And here you can choose Purge all memory and disk cache. You can also only purge the memory. So if I purge all memory, let's select this now. You see that now this bar turned from green into blue. That means that now After Effects has some files ready here, and these are on the disk, but they are not in the RAM right now. So if I move over here, you see then it will update this to green, and this means now they are available in the RAM again. And you see that this works really fast because After Effects can load the data or the image from the disk cache. If I come up here again to Edit, and if I choose Purge all memory and disk cache, then he asks me whether I'm sure to delete 61 gigabytes of disk cache. In my case, yes, I want to delete this. This will last a few seconds probably. So now it's finished, and you see now we have no more blue or green bars here. So none of these frames is cached or calculated in any way. So now I would have to calculate a totally or completely new preview. So let's set this back to 50% zoom level to half resolution. Let's press spacebar to create a new RAM preview. Okay, this is it for our lesson about previewing in After Effects. In our next lesson, we will take a look how we can refine this animation and how we can change the speed and time properties of certain video elements in After Effects.